Okay, good evening, folks, and welcome. I think we have some of our technical difficulties sorted out. Hopefully we're on live. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening to the 72nd meeting of the 13th Council of the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay. We have an agenda that's in front of us, and if I could, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wallace, seconded by Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Didn't you put your hand up?
No.
Oh, gee, sorry, I thought you put your, okay.
No, I got
Yep.
discussion
Councillor Compton Hobbs, discussion, yes, sir.
for the agenda, right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's an item missing there because the FAP committee met with 3 delegates on February the 6th. And then on February 11th at the Committee of the Whole, we presented everything that we discussed with the delegates. And we did have a recommendation which is not in there.
Madam CAO. We're going to share microphones? Okay. We can say what you're saying.
Okay, sorry. We do not see any recommendation from the minutes of the meeting.
Well, see, we did, because I'm writing it down, what we recommended was the FAP committee recommends council deny writing off the property tax and the business tax for Amaret Golf Club, Labrador Hunting and Fishing Association, and the SPCA. Further, the FAP committee recommends council approve writing off the interest portion for those 3 clients.
Do you have one now? Oh, you're flashing. Can you just turn that one off, Councillor Compton Hobbs? There you go. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I know the discussion came up. We met with the groups. We came forward with committee to whole to give an update of where we met with the groups. I don't think there was an official recommendation that was agreed upon by committee, but it was brought forward by the chair.
Okay, so who's on the FAP committee? 3 of you guys. So is there a recommendation to come to council? You
There
don't
wasn't
know?
a recommendation that was agreed upon at committee to whole.
There wasn't?
No,
Or there was?
there wasn't.
Okay.
There was nothing formal. The chair did indicate that he would like to put forward a recommendation, but that was as far as it went.
Okay. So,
Remember at Committee of the Whole, when we discussed it, we said because we were going to deny something else in here, and then we said because we were going to be voting on this one as well. So it's not going to be good voting on this one, then denying another one.
Because it wasn't captured in the minutes,
We did
obviously.
recommend it.
Is it in the minutes?
We don't have no minutes.
so there's no recommendation recorded. So we've got 2 of the 3 committees, so we'll have to table it and put it through
Next
for
month.
discussion next month, and then,
We could do it earlier and
well, no,
No,
it
no.
wouldn't come to a council next time anyway, right?
Yeah,
So
we
we'll
hadn't
just-
had a real,
Okay.
discussion.
So just
on
have the
it,
minutes
really.
identify that, or note that the recommendation needs to be, isn't coming forward because there isn't a recommendation, and to be addressed at next committee to hold next council. Any other discussion on the agenda? Here, go ahead.
Page 83 of your package is the minutes of the FAP Committee of the Whole meeting.
And is there a reference to that recommendation?
It states the FAP Committee recommends council deny the request from the Grand River Snowmobile Club for a financial contribution towards purchase of a new groomer.
Okay.
That is the only one that's in there.
Okay. All right, so we'll go with that, and we'll, that'll be tabled, then we'll bring it forward if required next council meeting. All right, no more discussion? Any more discussion on the agenda? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Okay, we've accepted the agenda. Delegations. Come on up to the microphone. We'll give you a red light there in a second. Does somebody have the guidelines for or can do it off the?
Well, I don't, but you don't have to read them out all the time. Here's how
Okay,
it goes.
just-
You have 10
yeah.
minutes to do your presentation. Council does not interact. And if you've been here before, we'll not discuss any new issues.
Okay. And certain issues, we have what you're going to speak about, so that's fine. There'll be certain issues that we don't discuss in delegation, so that's not one of them. So welcome to Council Chambers, Heidi. The floor is yours.
Thanks so much for having me. Let's keep this to 2 minutes, not 10 minutes. I know everyone is busy and it's a Monday that's freezing cold outside. So this is just an opportunity in case council has questions for either myself or my business partner, Charlie Pye Stowbridge. So I'm going to start with the arts programming one and then go into the film one really quickly. This is just to advise council and see if there are any questions. When it comes to, I'm going to be beginning an arts programming company here in Happy Valley Goose Bay. It is not going to have a office just yet, as it's going to be bounced between a few different nonprofits, but this is going to be for youth to seniors is the hope, including adults in between. As adults, as you all know, between 31 and 60, there's often a lack of any kind of programming for that age. They're kind of lost in the middle and lost in between at times. So at this point, we will make sure that we have insurance. It'll be seeking independent funding through different grants and different initiatives. And in the future, there might be an opportunity for a lot of public art if the town council is interested in, hey, we have this space, we have this wall of a building, we have this opportunity for more public art in the future. That would be something where I would love to hear from town council in the future if that opportunity does arise. I know that you all have my little blurbs, I believe, anyway, right? Okay. So that's as much as I'll go into it at this time, but that's a new home-based business that will be starting up in our municipality. Is there any questions surrounding that small business?
I think we prefer to answer the questions.
Cool, okay. Bring you up. Part two, also we'll keep it short, as I know that you all have my little blurb. So myself and Charlie, who I'm going to have him introduce himself in just a minute, we are in the process of opening a small film company. So this will be one of the only ones that is actually based here in Labrador. There are some other film companies that are utterly incredible, like Jessica Brown, that are led by Labradorians but not based here in the big land. The hope for this film company will be different than Beck & Creative with a lot of commercial. This one will be about other kinds of stories, the fiction, the nonfiction. We saw the huge demand with North and North to have these authentic northern stories, even if they're fiction, be shared on a wider scale. And this is going to be bridging the gap between people's stories and ideas for documentaries they want to do, fiction they want to do, to find ways to get funding to bring it to life throughout Labrador. So while it will be based here in Happy Valley Goose Bay, that doesn't necessarily mean all filming will be here in Happy Valley Goose Bay, but some of the, just to mention some of the ideas that have been brought to us so far through a screenwriting course is, for example, a young man, a young Inuk wants to create a film showcasing his grandfather's journey, who was adopted by a non-Indigenous family in Makhovik. He didn't know his birth parents, and it was such a terrible situation that he decided to leave. And his grandfather, as a young teenager, walked from Makhovik to Goose Bay to start a new life. Another is someone it's this older woman in Nain who has never made a film, but always dreamed of making a film about trying to reconnect to her own Inuit culture as an older person who wasn't raised in it, who had no connection to it as a young person. So what we wanted to address council with is that with that, though, comes filming that could potentially be in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and the more sight of a film crew around town. When that does come up, we just want to assure council, and also we'll be making sure that people are aware where we're filming. This is what we're doing. It's not going to be top secret news stories where you have to hide what the focus is until it's done. No, it will be very upfront with people and saying, these are the stories that we're filming, and here's where you can watch it, and to hopefully boost up for when we do end up publishing things. Because even North and North, they've been posting online for 4 years about it. And all of that previous exposure really even helped the massive increase that they saw. We were not quite on that level. The amazing people like Athenia who are behind that show, they started just how we're starting right now, about 7-8 years ago. But this is how they started too. So I'm just gonna have Charlie introduce himself really quickly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie Pye Strobridge, born and raised here in Goose Bay, and I can't really say it any better than Heidi just did, but we're trying to create something new here and really bring the communities together all across Labrador. And yeah, again, she says it perfectly. I don't know what else to add. So
Charlie recently graduated film school in Stephenville and came home here to Labrador. So here's hoping that he will stay, that we can get this off the ground. But with it being film and how people are nervous about film in their own communities, and rightly so, when there are productions in communities and people don't have a lot of information, we wanted to just come to council and kind of explain that the policies will be to be sharing online and sharing with people, this is what we're doing, this is what we're filming, if you want to be involved, if you want to not be involved. We hope to be incredibly transparent about everything, and we're going to be following standards, privacy laws, everything to the letter. Is there any questions about that?
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Wish you the best of luck in your endeavor. I'd encourage you to drop in and see Mark in terms of your business and all that kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
And yeah, well, good luck with it all.
Thank you both so much. Really appreciate you all taking the time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, just before I start, I want to say that myself and the Deputy Mayor received a small token of appreciation from the community of Labrador City for the community and our residents' effort during the fire this past summer and the evacuation. Very informal. It was a quick get-together with the Deputy Mayor from Labrador City and the clerk. And they received a small token. We put out a PSA, but we just want to say thank you. As I said at the meeting, there's no real need for thanks because it could be us tomorrow. So with that, we'd like to thank our friends in Labrador City. And I've got an item I want to bring up after too that deals with that, but I'll wait for my opportunity in Councillor's Forum. All right, so we no more delegations. We have the minutes in front of us for the 71st meeting held on January 28th. I entertain a motion to accept them as presented.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next item is correspondence, and I have no correspondence in the file, even none from the Municipal Assessment Agency, which we always have something from the Municipal Assessment Agency. But anyway, all right, so let's move into committee reports, community planning and development, and I'll pass the floor to Councillor Rumbold.
Thank you, Mayor. So we've had some technical challenges here. I have to admit that I myself have had some technical challenges today. So my laptop gave out. I hauled out my backup plan of my iPad, which has completely given out. So I am kind of, my report
for those who can't see, her iPad is used as the holder to hold up her phone.
hold up my cell phone.
Last resort.
So my report may not be as concise as it normally is because I'm improvising a little bit, but so the committee, the Community Planning and Development Committee met on Tuesday, February the 11th as part of a committee of a whole. Present was myself as chair, Councillor Todd Winters, Councillor Jackie Compton-Hobbs, Mayor George Andrews as ex officio, CAO Nadine McCauley, Engineer Randy Dillon, and EA Kathy Eddy. The Committee of Whole meeting was called to order, and we began with our Community Planning and Development. There were no delegations. We reviewed the minutes. There were no errors or omissions. Our action items were updated and reviewed. Our manager's report was provided to us previous to the meeting, which included our permit updates. We had no deferred Crown land applications. We had 3 new Crown land applications, which will have recommendations to follow. We had one discretionary land use application, which will also have a recommendation to follow. There were no variance land use recommendations, and under other business, we had an update provided to us by the town engineer as a housekeeping amendment only for text to clarify on our quarry regulations. And our next meeting is scheduled for a part of the Committee of the Whole for Tuesday, March the 11th, and we adjourned at, I don't even have my time, I apologize, because we adjourned at that point and moved into our next committee. I'm thinking, see, I should have all this ready. Our adjournment was approximately 5:35. And I would like to submit my report as presented.
All right, so it's moved by Councilor Rumbold and the Community Planning Development Committee report, or committee, that we accept the report as presented. Seconded by Councilor Broomfield. Discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Thank you. Now you have some
I have some
recommendations.
Okay, my first one is Crown Lands application 106479. The CPD committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 106479 located at 100 Grand Lake Road on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations.
Moved by Councilor Rumbold and the CPD committee, that council recommends to provide no objection to Crown's Land application 106479 at 100 Grand Lake Road. Seconded by? Seconded by Councilor Winters. Discussion?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to go with further information, this is a Crown Lands application to actually change a lease to a grant for a existing cottage.
All right. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Okay, my second one is Crown Lands application 163431. The CPD committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 163431 located at 638 Churchill Falls Road on the condition that future development complies with town's development regulations.
Moved by Councilor Rumbold and the CPD committee that council provides no objection to Crown Lands application number 163431 at 638 Churchill Falls Road. Seconded by? Seconded by Councilor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Councilor Palmer.
Just wanted to clarify in terms of what the, I know it's a Crown Land application. Is it for quarry or?
It's for a license to occupy for use as an access road.
Okay.
Yeah,
Two-
it's the north end.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
My next one is Crown Lands application 163522. The CPD committee recommends council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 163522 located at 200 Goose River Road on the condition that future development complies with the town's development regulations and that the associated quarry application is approved.
Okay, moved by Councilor Rumbold, CPD committee, that council provide no objection to Crown Lands application 163522 located at 200 Goose River Road. Seconded by? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion?
Just again, it mentions an associated quarry application once it's approved, so the land would be used for a quarry. The question is, how close would this quarry be from existing cabins?
Put the question to Mr. Dillon, but I think it's quite a ways.
That's correct, Mayor. It's not in the vicinity of cabins, and actually, I think it's down around the dump, actually.
Yeah, the other side of the road, the dump.
quarry, so
Yeah.
it's not there's no issue there with.
Yeah, just curious, just in case cabin owners are wondering
Yeah.
where it's
yeah.
going to be in proximity to. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. Next recommendation, please.
Okay, my final one is a home-based business application HBB, application for Brack and Brine, 70 Grenfell Street. The CPD committee recommends that council approve the home-based business application at 70 Grenfell Street for Brack and Brine Consulting Incorporated, which will operate a home-based office for consulting and publishing service, subject to the compliance with all the town's regulations and conditions.
All right, so moved by Councilor Rumbold, second that the CPD committee, that council approve a home-based business at 70 Grenfell Street for the purpose of office for consulting and publishing service. Seconded by? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion?
Just to note, Mayor, that this one was advertised for our full 7 days, as per our policy, and it was on our town webpage. We did not receive any comments or concerns with regards to the application.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Passed. That's it for you,
That is
Councilor
it for
Rumbold?
me. Thank you very much.
All right, let's move into the Community Services and Recreation Committee report, and to Councilor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. The meeting took place on February 11th, after the community planning and development meeting as part of the committee of the whole. Present were Chair Councilor Winters, Councilor Compton Hobbs, Deputy Mayor Wallace, Mayor Andrews as an ex officio, CAO Nadine McCauley, Director of Community Service and Recreation Dom Demers, EA Kathy Eddy. Chair Todd Winters proceeded with the Community Service and Recreation meeting. There were no delegations. Committee reviewed the minutes with no errors or omissions. Action items were reviewed and updated as noted. Manager's report was provided last week for review. With regards to the action items, there were two, and there's still just two ongoing ones. One dealing with the minor soccer field, or sorry, the Mealy Mountain soccer field, and review with the meeting with the curling club that has still not yet been scheduled. Under new business, there were two things under new business, the Canada Games torch relay with a recommendation to follow, and then also a discussion regarding the strategic plan, which will hopefully be coming forth and after discussion. That being end of new business, the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 11th as committee of the whole at 5 p.m. Meeting adjourned and proceeded to the next committee meeting on the agenda. I have two recommendations to follow, and please accept report as provided.
All right, thank you. It's been moved by Councilor Winters that we accept the Community Services and Recreation report as has been presented. Seconded by Councilor Rumbold. Any discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Passed. Two recommendations?
One's a recommendation, one's a motion, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, do recommendation.
All right, recommendation, Canada Games Torch Relay 2025. The CSR committee recommends council to support the Canada Games request that the town will provide the support requested and will work with their team to host a community event at Kinsman Park following the Orange Store 2025 Canada Games Torch Relay.
Right, moved by Councilor Winters and the CSR committee that council support the Canada Games request and will work with the team to host a community event, Kinsman Park, following the Orange Store Canada Games Torch Relay. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Passed.
The second one is the motion of council. Letter of support, skateboard park art project. The CSR committee recommends council provide a letter of support to Ms. Heidi Adder for her project at the Randy Scott Rose Memorial Skate Park.
Okay, moved by Councilor Winters.
I'll second.
Hold on, I gotta read the motion first. Moved by Councilor Winters and the CSR committee that council provide a letter of support for a proposed local art project at the Randy Scott Rose Memorial Skate Project. Seconded by Councilor Compton Hobbs. She had her hand up first. Any discussion?
I got excited then because it was a great idea and I hope she gets funding to get this
Good.
worked out.
Excellent. Yeah, don't forget your microphone. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Passed.
I
I should have made a comment, but it's too late now.
Oh, you can make
She
it
was
now.
just here- She was just here presenting to
And didn't bring
council
anything about,
and indicated her intentions of setting
Yeah.
up a home-based business, but we're approving a project in advance of her being set up, but that's
but is
fine.
this a business project? That's,
Still a
well,
project.
yeah. I did encourage her to go see Mark. I hope that, that happens. Okay, that's it for you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move the agenda, down the agenda to finance, admin, and policy.
Your worship, just another point.
Yes, sir.
With the additional motions here,
Yeah.
I noticed in some of the motions for finance related to the multi-year capital works, and the additional one is a multi-year capital works. Will all those go under finance, or are they going to be broken up municipal services? 'Cause
What do you want to do?
If they're all going to be finance.
What do you
then
want to
can
do? It's
them
just as
all.
easy to do it, doesn't matter to me. What does council want to do? What does staff want to do?
Makes
either
no
or?
difference to me, but
Okay, we'll go under finance. You got them doing, you can do those ones too.
Okay, yeah.
It is really
Do you have
finance.
a
anyway.
copy of the additional ones?
Well,
It's
they're
on
right
the
here.
back of
It's
our,
on the back of your thing.
I don't have a package.
Oh, you
I only
don't?
have it online. I'm following
Come in
online,
by
but
separate email, no? Yeah, there was one here.
Your agenda.
no, I don't have my agenda. I don't have anything.
Not there?
Is this extra?
It's right here.
No, there's nothing here.
There's nothing there.
This is my stuff. I've got the, what's in the package, but I don't have the
It came
additional
by
one.
second email. The latest ones come by email.
Yeah, but did you
today.
print yours?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
have anything.
okay.
So we got it,
All right, so we'll do your finance in a minute and then just do the other ones. You
Yeah,
can have this
okay.
one, I'll follow
No
along.
problem.
Okay, finance and admin, Councillor Brumfield.
okay, thank you, your worship. On February, Finance and Admin met with the Committee of the Whole on February the 11th. But before that, the Committee of Finance Administration and Policy Committee met with 3 delegates from business in the town or sports organizations, all dealing with the home-based or the property tax exemption and the business tax exemption for not-for-profit organizations. We met with these delegates. We were there for about an hour. We heard their concerns. They heard ours, and there was an issue. We discussed that committee of the whole, and there was a recommendation to come forward, but it's been overlooked. So that one is going to be tabled until the next month's meeting. So for this month, we had a regular meeting with the committee of the whole on February 11th. And basically what we met as part of, like I said, part of the committee president was myself in the chair, Councilor Bert Pomeroy, Deputy Mayor Ella Wallace, Mayor George Andrews, ex officio, CEO Nadine McCauley, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy. So we met, we had our agenda items, we reviewed your previous minutes. There was no issues, no items omitted, errors omitted. We reviewed the action items, got verbal updates on that, and the new business, we came into the new business for this month. The first new business we have is an information security policy, and that is dealing with the arena. We're going online with our arena stuff, the agenda scheduling and that kind of stuff, and payments online. And this is what this information security policy deals with, processing payments made by people online. Because currently, right now, we only do payments through the office here in the town, and that's covered by Moneris and their information security policy. So we had to come up with our own, and there's a recommendation coming forward on that one here. Next new business item was advertising at the Royal Canadian Legion, which is something the town has normally done each year, so we're a recommendation coming with taking that in this year's Legion magazine. Another item is, new item is arrears sales bylaw. Where there's a new local service district and towns act, we had to create our own bylaws where we can deal with arrears sales of property. So that's the recommendation come forward on that one. And on the new business, the last item is dealing with a request for a donation from the Grand River Snowmobile Club. And that one there will be a recommendation coming there for the town to discuss. That was the regular business. The other business, The council all met to discuss our disclosure statements. So we did that on our last committee of the whole, and all the councilors present did their disclosure statements and signed it. And so basically our date of the next meeting is gonna be part of the committee of the whole, which I'm not sure if there's a date set, but we will be part of that one.
March
March 11th.
11th.
So that'll be on March the 11th for the committee of the whole. And thank you, and that's it for my report.
Okay, thank you. It's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the Finance and Policy Committee that we,
Yeah, can I just mention one other item before we do?
okay?
There is some other items there that are being transferred over to us from the Municipal Services Committee, I would guess, right? And that's dealing with multi-year capital works, basically rescheduling, revamping, and reprofiling.
Okay,
So there's recommendations on that as
Yep.
well.
okay. So moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that we accept the Finance and Policy Committee as presented. Seconded by Councillor Pomeroy. Discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
I,
Contrary minded, passed. So you do have some recommendations, sir?
Yes, I do, and thank you. The first one deals with the information security policy. The FAP Committee recommends Council move forward with the simplified information security policy prepared by Sean Lee and submitted to Amelia/PaySafe to meet the requirement for compliance. Furthermore, engage Sean Lee to incorporate a payment system within the town website that works with Moneris, the current payment provider in place at the town office.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee, recommending Council move forward with the simplified information security policy in order to engage with Amelia and PaySafe. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? Councillor Palmer.
yeah, first of all, it's not clear who Sean Lee is. So I assume he's been contracted by the town to deal with the website? And if so, is this part of the contract that he was given, or is this a one-off? That's the question I'd like to know.
Okay, CAO? Oh, there you go.
So there's a yes and a no to that question, Councillor. Sean Lee is our website developer, the new website that the town introduced last year. He did it as a student of, I believe it was the CNA, and so he wasn't contracted. It was a fee for service at a very, I'll say, low rate, and we got an exceptional website out of it. This piece of it with the payment security, he was asked to do because it interacts with the town's website. And so he was the, I'll say, the best expertise in that area to reach out to.
Okay. Good view? Okay. Deputy Mayor Wallace?
Just wanted to add there as well, with this one, the purpose of this initiation completely is that we have something in place at the arena when we're booking online. So when you go and book a room or pay anything or summer rack, whatever the program is, currently we're using this system. What's going to happen is we'll be online with the town website, and the town website encompasses Moneris, which has its own security backing. So we don't need to pay for all the extra add-ons, if you will, when we get up to line as to putting everything through the one web page.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Well, my understanding of this one here, because this was brought forward to us from the Recreation Committee, because it has this here recommendation deal with money. That's how it would then over to us normally. So from what I understand, they're the ones who really engaged Sean Lee last year to do work for the rec department over the arena, see? And from what I understand now, he's basically going to be doing this here further with them, not necessarily dealing with the town's payroll or system here,
So,
but with the arena.
so it's my understanding that Sean Lee was a student that we engaged to create our new town website. And now, because we're looking at changing the payment system for the arena, because I believe the other one was more expensive.
It is.
Correct? The one that's existing in place. So, is that correct? Okay. There you go.
It's the booking system, not the payment system at the arena. So the arena uses Monero, same as we do here for actual card payments. But the booking system because it's an online booking and that can take payments through that system, requires this ISSP policy in place, and we are being billed for non-compliance because we don't have that security
Okay.
in place on our, so the provider doesn't take that on, whereas with Maneris, they take that on and they provide that security. And the Amelia, the booking system, does not take that on.
So at the end of this, with this, we'll be gone totally through Maneris from a payment perspective, when you book at the arena.
Okay, so if we go with taking payments through our website,
Yep.
That is geared with Maneris, that has the policy, but that is not Amelia. If we move to booking through our website and don't use Amelia anymore, then we won't need the security policy.
Right. So Amelia is the booking part of it.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna move away from that system, and we're gonna book through our own website. And the reason we got one Mr. Lee is because he's the creator of our website.
Correct.
There we go.
The payment process, if I may, and
Still
add to what
Maneris.
you're saying, the payment process we currently have at the arena is the Amelia one, and the fines or the extra add-ons that we're having to pay is the exact amount as what we're paying for the Amelia. So it's double the amount. Going through the website using Maneris, we won't have those extra fines.
Okay, but that's a bit different. So right now, the booking system that we're using is Amelia. It uses its own payment system. We're getting away from that. We're going to our own website that will use Maneris on our website. And that's why we're doing the ISSP stuff.
Yeah, and that's for online payments.
Right, okay.
So not in-person payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Yes, exactly what you just
That's
said.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's progress and enhanced security. Okay, any further discussion? It is warm,
I
it
just-
is very warm in here too, so.
I just think if here we were talking about technology and we're going back
Yeah.
and forth pushing buttons to make sure.
We can only
hear
have
each other.
7 at a time here, yeah, okay. All right, so no more discussion heard. All those in favor of that recommendation indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next one, please.
Okay, the next one is request for donation from Grand River Snowmobile Club. The FAP committee recommends council deny the request from the Grand River Snowmobile Club for finance contribution towards the purchase of a new groomer.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield in the FAP committee that council deny the request for the Grand River Snowmobile Club for a financial contribution. Seconded by? Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion. Councillor Pomeroy.
Yeah, just to add some context to this, so the Grand River Snowmobile Club is in the process of trying to acquire a new groomer and is looking for a financial contribution from the town. They didn't specify how much, but it would be fairly substantive based on the cost of the groomer itself, and to use the town money as seed money to access other funding from federal and provincial sources. The amount based on staff's initial, I guess, analysis of, or the request that came through and based on the cost of the machine would have been just south of $90,000, around $90,000, something that we didn't budget for this year. I would suggest we write a letter back to the Snowmobile Club and that they put a pre-budget submission in for next year's budget and see where it goes from there. Obviously, any sizable amount, certainly $90,000 would have to be a budgeted item and appropriated in this year's budget. But I would suggest we do that, and I think council would be very supportive of the Snowmobile Club, but it's just financially, we're not in a position to do so at this time.
Councillor Compton Hobbs.
I just wanted to add that I did support giving them a small donation, and there was actually a number there recommended under the donation policy. I thought that we could have given them some type of donation towards the groomer. You know, any donation at all, a small donation or anything would have helped along the way after raising funds from wherever over the next, couple of years. But anyway, yeah, there was a small number recommended by staff from finance, and I thought we could have supported it.
Okay, just want to do a couple of things here. Is it possible, looking at our management table here, is it possible that the town could own a piece of equipment such as that? in which case, you know, we could receive it under capital works money or some type of, and I'm thinking from next year's budget perspective. And then, you know, whether lease it or transfer it to the snowmobile club, but I mean, it would have, is there a program like a 70-30 or 60-40 or some kind of maybe regional 80-20 program that we could do? And there's just food for thought. I don't expect the answer, but that's something that we might be able to look at. So yeah, I encourage, as Councillor Pomeroy said, that the snowmobile club be advised that, you know, a big ask of $90,000 partway through our budget is not possible, or usually not possible. But you know, and this year I don't know if we'll need it as much as we would, you know, in previous year and next year, subsequent years. So if that's something we could look for consideration, just to advise them to come, make sure they come back with pre-budget next year. You know, something that we can investigate in terms of you know, what happens, or I guess the next council can investigate. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, these ones are always fun. All those in favor of denying the request indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Okay, passed. Next one, please.
Okay, the next one is dealing with advertising requests from the Royal Canadian Legion for their annual booklet. The FAP Committee recommends Council approve a full-color, one-quarter-page ad in the 25th anniversary edition of the Veteran Service Recognition Book at a cost of $510 plus HST, or no HST included, right?
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that Council approve the quarter-page color ad in the 25th anniversary edition of Veteran Service Recognition Book at a cost of $510, HST included. Seconded by? Seconded by Councillor Compton Hobbs. Discussion? Sorry, Councillor. CAO? Well, no. She had her hand up first, please.
Sorry, I just want to clarify something that's missing from the briefing note. It does say that in the past the town provided advertising for a quarter page in this booklet. The last time that the town contributed to this booklet was in 2012.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know.
I think that was in the conversation around the table too. Yeah. Councillor Palmer.
Yes, and just to add to that, and the reason why it was taken back in 2012 was because of the policy that was in place. There was no, like, if there is a real benefit to the community for providing 25 anniversary or money to a booklet for the Legion right across the country, I don't know if there's a benefit. From the policy perspective, I think the discussions that came up over the years when there was advertising for initiatives that are national of scope, we tend to move away from those and put the money into the community directly. I have no issue with supporting the Legion. I would rather give the Legion directly a contribution rather than giving money to an ad agency. That's not based here. That's my thoughts.
Anybody, any other further discussion? I think the general feel around the table was that or the feel around the table was that that book that celebrates 25 years of veteran service recognition, and because, you know, we are a military town, I think that's where some of it, and it puts Happy Valley Goose Bay in a magazine that might be seen by somebody in Vancouver, Saskatoon, anywhere at all. I think that was the conversation, and I fully support. I mean, absolutely the Legion here as well, but I just think this is an example. I don't think we could buy that type of advertising for $510. Anybody else? Any further discussion? Okay. None heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Okay, next one, sir. Multi-year capital works.
Okay, yes. Okay, the next ones are the multi-year capital works there. First one is the multi-year capital works 2014 to 2017 Schedule A. Be it resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approval letter dated 24th of December 2025 for 2014-2017 multi-year capital works for a total amount of $7,157,960, of which $5 million is the province's share and $2,157,959 is the municipal share, and authorize the mayor and CAO to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP committee that council accept a cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation Infrastructure's project approval letter dated 24th December 2025.
Just a point of order, shouldn't it be December 2024? We're not,
Yeah, really.
2025 yet.
Yeah.
And that point of order is accepted. So, please, the motion, please change it to 24th day of December 2024.
The next motion as well.
Yeah, the next one. And the next one.
Point of clarification, actually.
Okay.
All of them.
All right. Okay, so I'll start again here. Moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP committee that council accept a cost-shared funding outlined in the Department of Transportation Infrastructure project approval letter dated 24th day of December 2024 for the 2014-2017 multi-year capital works as outlined. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? Councillor Winters?
Could we refer to our engineer, Randy Dillon, to explain what this is for? 'Cause
Yep.
basically, this is just numbers that
That's
the
right. Yep.
residents don't understand where
Yep.
this money is going.
Basically, Councillor, this is for, we have about 4 ongoing municipal capital works programs. And we have various projects, and over the years, we've had various projects that maybe have underran. We've reprofiled projects, we've moved projects from one year to the next. So what this does, in that particular program, we did have some residual funds. So as a result of our last budget, we had a number of projects that we're trying to get done this year. And there were funds left in that program that were allocated to these projects from that program. And it's the same way with the 17-20 multi-year capital works and the 2023 multi-year capital works. And there's an ongoing one now for the 23-26 capital works that council has already approved the schedule, and now this will approve the formal agreement.
Is there any specific project that could be listed for the specific funding?
Were there specific projects in this?
Yes.
I don't have it in front of me. It could have been the municipal building of the snow guards or something like that.
Okay.
There was maybe 200,000 or 300,000 or 400,000 left, rather than leave the funds there in
Oh,
the
definitely.
program. What's that?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so rather than leave the funds there unallocated and we lose access to them, I figured it was best to use up every dollar we can in those old programs and then, use our current program for newer projects.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's in the, in our package, right?
These aren't in this in the package,
Okay.
that's all the programs.
Yes, yeah, I understand. I was
Yeah.
just wanting to see if we can
Yeah.
get it stated to the
So it
community
means
that.
something new.
See, some of these are say the name so that the community know what projects we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Because it is a.
Oh, it is,
bit of money.
yeah. And there's 3 motions similar, so.
Yeah.
And they're all dealing with the same type of activity, correct, Mr. Dillon?
That's correct, Mayor.
And
That's fine.
as the Chair of Finance Policy Administration indicated earlier, some of these projects kind of overlap within committees. And in my report, I may touch on some of those, what those may be.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Next one, please.
Okay, the next one again is multi-year capital works 2017 to 2020, Schedule A. Be it resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay, accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approval Letter dated 24th day of December 2024, I should say, for 2017 to 2020 multi-year capital works for a total amount of $290,050, of which $145,025 is province's share and $145,025 is the municipal share, and authorize the mayor and CEO to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP committee that council accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure's project approval dated 24th day of December 2024 as for the 2017-2020 multiple year capital works as detailed. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. Basically the same as the previous one and the next one. All those in favor, sorry? No, you got, oh, there you go.
The project, there's a single project on this program, and that's snow guards for municipal
Okay.
buildings.
The red light's popular. If you want a red light, you could pay big money tonight. Okay, so no more discussion on that one. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary-minded? Pass. Next one, please.
Okay, the next one is multi-year capital works 2020 to 2023, Schedule A. Be it resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approval Letter dated 24th of December 2024 for 2020 to 2023 multi-year capital works for a total amount of $3,023,076, of which $2,044,698 is the province's share, and $978,378 is the municipal share, and authorize the mayor and CAO to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, project approval, letter dated 24th December 2024, for the 2020-2023 multi-year capital works program as presented. Seconded by? Okay, Councillor Pomeroy. Discussion. What, yeah, well, you give us one, you might as well give us the other one. What projects?
Okay, so there's a couple on this one remaining. Groundwater, stormwater study, 2021 local roads upgrades, Lawrence O'Brien pumping upgrades, D42 pump house upgrades, and municipal arena heating upgrades.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion on that one? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
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 Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Okay, the next one is the amendment regarding development near mineral workings. And this is really referred to us from the CBD committee, really. Be it resolved that an amendment to the municipal plan and development regulations 2018 and 2028 is undertaken to clarify the process regarding development within the vicinity of mineral working operations with the Mineral Lands Division of the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that an amendment to the municipal plan development regulations is undertaken or will be undertaken?
I guess it should be, will be undertaken.
Yeah.
Will be undertaken to clarify the process regarding the development near mineral workings. Seconded by? Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? None heard? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? We've passed that one. This one is yours, sir.
Okay, the next one is dealing with the budget. It's just really a clarification one, or like crossing your I's, dotting your T's sort of thing. Motion to amend the 2025 budget. Be resolved that the town council of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay approve and adopt the 2025 revised municipal budget for the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay as per section 84 of the Towns and Local Service District Act, with total revenues of $19,623,702.67 and total expenditures of $19,623,702.67.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumfield and the FAP Committee that we approve and adopt our 2025 revised municipal budget for Happy Valley Goose Bay as per section 84 of the Towns and Local Service District Act. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. So on this one, this is just what happens is when we submit our budget, it goes to municipal affairs and gets reviewed. And I guess coming back, they wanted things put in
Different lines.
different lines.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change our budget, you know, the taxations and revenues and that kinds of stuff. It just puts things in different places.
Just a quick question, but is there a change in the amount? And what was the change? I know what is no difference on the operations, but the change in the amount for the record? Was there a difference, much of a difference?
There is a change in the amount from the original budget that was passed in November. It was just a matter of allocating gas tax funding and the gas tax projects into different fields within the expenses and revenues. So it upped the budget, but it was in and out. So it didn't change anything.
It's zero.
Just reflected where they wanted to see the gas tax monies going.
Any other discussion? Oh, thought you were pushing your button. Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Pass. Next one, please.
Okay, the next one is a motion to amend the 2025 tax rates and fees policy F0001. The Finance Administration and Policy Committee recommends council adopt the amended policy F0001 tax rates and fees as presented.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that council adopt the amended policy F0001, which is our tax rates and fees as presented. Seconded by? Councillor Rumbold? Everyone was looking funny, that's all. Discussion.
No?
Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed.
So I also had two more additional motions as well. Okay, the next additional motion deals with multi-year capital works 2023 to 2026 Schedule A. Be it resolved that we, the recipient, the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay, accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approval Letter dated 20th of February 2025 for the 2023 to 2026 multi-year capital works for a total amount of $3,523,000, of which $2,044,698 is the province's share and $1,182,875 is the municipal share, and authorize the mayor and CAO to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that we accept, the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay accept a cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation Infrastructure's project approval letter dated February 20th, 2025 for the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works as presented. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? Okay, none heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
What are those projects? Yep. What are those projects?
These projects are Fire Hall Design, Sewage Lift Station Upgrades Phase 2, Bike Trail Project Phase 2, Riverbank Stabilization Phase 1, and Grenfell Street Reconstruction.
Okay, thank you. Next one, sir.
Okay, the last one for me is the Canada Community Building Fund. Be it resolved that the town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay apply for funding from the Canada Community Building Fund administered by the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to fund the town share as indicated of the following projects. Riverbank Stabilization Project in the amount of $342,784. Arena electrical panel upgrade in the amount of $10,000.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay apply for funding from the Canada Community Building Fund administered by Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to fund the town share of the following two projects: Riverbank Stabilization Project in the amount of $342,784, and secondly, the Arena electrical panel upgrade in the amount of $10,000. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion. Deputy Mayor.
I got a quick one, a question. Mr. Dillon, if you could kind of clarify, that's $10,000 for the arena electrical upgrade. Would that finish the electrical upgrades needed for that?
Yes, Councillor. This was additional work that the electrician found when he went to do the investigation on the work.
Yeah.
So this is going to sell a new breaker and feed for the yellow section heating panel. So that will complete it. He is gonna be 4 to 6 weeks for the materials, so he advises me that the work will be completed at the end of May.
So that
By
will
the end of
enable
May.
everyone to isolate different areas and sections of that
That
side
would
of
be
the
able
arena.
to control, basically like a radio knob as to what heat you want from each panel in each section.
Great news.
Do you get two
Thank you.
choices?
No, you get many choices. You have a multitude of choices.
When you go from one to the other, though, do you lose that one?
It's not full on or full off. You can just
Councillor
a little
Pomeroy.
bit or a
So,
big
so
bit.
it's not like, it's
Yeah,
not,
it's
it's not
Not
digital.
an A, B, or C.
It's still analog, is it?
It's just like the old
You see a wave of-
radio button in your
You
in
just
your
gotta
car.
turn on
you
the
know?
element.
Yes, you should.
It's not like
You'll see people moving from yellow to orange to red. Councillor Pomeroy.
No, that's.
Oh, is it? Okay. Any other discussion? Councillor, oh, sorry. Not seen her hand going, I didn't know. Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Any idea how long we'd be, before we get approval or rejection?
For this, very, very quickly.
Okay,
The gas tax are usually very quick with these approvals.
with our money.
With
Our money, yeah, they should be. Okay, so that's it for you, sir?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Alrighty. Let's jump to municipal services, and to the end of the table.
Thank you, Mayor. Municipal Service Committee met on Tuesday, February 11th, during the Committee of the Whole meeting. Present were myself as Chair, Councillor Hayward Broomfield, Deputy Mayor Ella Wallace, Chief Administrative Officer Nadine McCauley, Director of Engineering Randy Dillon, Superintendent of Public Works Randy Chambers, Superintendent of Water and Sewer Keith Pye, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy, who took the minutes. There were no delegates in attendance. The minutes of the previous meeting were reviewed with no errors or omissions. Action items were reviewed and updates were noted. Managers' reports were provided and included in the council package. The Engineering Department's January report noted ongoing progress on YMCA deficiencies, and the manager indicated that those deficiencies are expected to be addressed by this summer. Contract documents for lift station upgrades under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program have been signed, with work scheduled for completion by July. Tenders will soon be issued for upgrading the Loring Drive, Hamilton River Road intersection, including the reconstruction of Loring Drive to the entrance of 5 Wing Goose Bay, expected to be completed this summer. A request for proposals has been prepared to select an engineering consultant for the reconstruction of Grenfell Street, including the Hamilton River Road intersection. A tender notice has been forwarded to Merckx for upgrading the D42 pump house. Trails upgrade project is under review with a tender to be issued soon. An RFP is being prepared to select an engineering consultant for the river bank stabilization project in the Lower Valley. Meeting has been arranged to finalize proposed site for a new fire hall, after which an RFP will be issued for design work. Public Works and Water and Sewer operations are normal for this time of year with no major issues to report. Again, the manager's report are included in council's package with more details. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 11th. With that, I move that the Municipal Services Committee be accepted as read.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy that we accept the Municipal Services Committee report as presented. Seconded by Councillor Broomfield. Discussion.
I was just wondering,
No, go ahead. I thought I heard somebody coming in. Need your button. There you go.
you mentioned trails upgrade. Do we know what's included in them trails upgrades, or did you discuss that in your meeting?
Trails upgrades will be basically the same work from Tim Hortons to the intersection of Kellen Drive where the bike trail intersects Kellen Drive and Hamilton. It will be the shouldering and the repaving of the surface. The gateways are completed, so this will complete that complete set. That's the intent, is to complete that section, depending upon the tenders.
So, when you're saying, upgrade to the pavement, they're also gonna be extended, right, or widened?
Excuse me, Council. Yes, that whole surface will be widened, and the shoulders would be more, will be straightened up and made a little bit more safer, where they're steeper and
Good
they're washed away and that kind of thing.
Good.
All right. Any other discussion? Just on Churchill Street, the intent is how much of Churchill Street? Because I wouldn't want to give anybody to understand we're doing all of Churchill Street. What's the,
Churchill Street.
or sorry, Grenfell Street. My mistake.
What was
Grenfell
that?
Street. What's
Oh,
the, from Hanover
Grenfell?
River Road, how far are we going back?
Oh,
As far as the bank. right?
Yeah, the intent is to get the intersection, get that straightened
Yeah.
up because it's needs to be improved. And then to go as far as what the funds will allow us. Hopefully, we're expecting maybe to get to the bank, but, not knowing what the price of asphalt's gonna be this summer and what the tenders are gonna come in at, we're hoping to get to the bank, but we'll have to see.
Okay. And is the design to put the sidewalks back?
Well, when the consultant does the review, does his pre-design,
Okay.
he'll come up with a plan as to the best way to address sidewalks and any kind of storm drainage in the area.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Pass. Productive Services Committee.
If I starts coughing, I'll pass it on to Councilor Pomeroy.
Yeah.
Not the cough, though.
Not cough, no.
Cough to the left if you're going to.
So Protective Services Committee met during the Committee of the Whole meeting held on February 11th. Present was myself as the chair, Councilor Burt Pomeroy, Councilor Denise Rumbold, CEO Nadine McCauley, Director of Protective Services Brad Butler, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy. Some Protective Service Committee meeting, there were no delegations. Committee reviewed the minutes. There was no errors or omissions. The action items were reviewed with updates noted. Some new business that we discussed during the meeting was the open air fire bylaw, which I'm gonna bring forward as a recommendation, and the vehicle for hire bylaw. This was presented, a new vehicle for hire bylaw that was prepared by our legal, and I'll bring that forward for recommendation shortly. Other business we talked about was a community safety plan. Director of Protective Services, Brad Butler advised the committee that he is meeting with Charlene Simmons regarding the community safety plan. He'll give us an update at our next committee meeting. We also talked about the security, putting security in place again this summer. Committee recommended putting it in early, possibly April the 1st. This will come back to the March committee meeting for further discussion. We talked about fireworks, possibly putting a bylaw in place. Director Brad Butler is going to get some information from other municipalities regarding approvals, set dates, things like that, set times, etc. Bring it back to our March meeting for further discussion. And our next meeting is scheduled for March the 11th. We were the last committee on the Committee of the Whole, and we adjourned at 7:21 p.m.
Okay, moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs that we accept the Protective Services Committee as presented. Seconded by Councillor Brumfield. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. I do have one question in terms of the E11, Access E11. Thought we were going to do a little bit tonight on that, but I don't see it on the agenda. One of the conversations was around illegal home-based businesses or businesses popping up, selling whatever, and maybe not registered with the town. Has there been an increase in anyone reporting that through E11? Or has there been any uptake in that? Because I noticed the conversation happened, but the director advised, councillors or anybody to use the E11 service if you see something like that pop up. So can I put it in the minutes that next month we have just a little blurb on E11 and from a staff perspective on how to use it? Yep.
It was briefly discussed in the meeting, but
I asked last council meeting, same thing.
yeah, and the director just advised us to have people call.
Yeah, that's for the illegal
E11.
businesses, isn't it? But I'm just thinking if we're telling people to use E11, go ahead.
So, the Director of Community Services and Recreation is actually prepared to do a demonstration for council.
Perfect.
However, after the events of this weekend, it was a little bit late,
Okay.
I guess, for him to do that today, but whenever council's ready, he's ready, and it's maybe 10, 15-minute presentation to show how it's used and what people see on the front end when they go in, and what the managers see on the back end when they receive
So
it.
can we get him to do that, tape it, and put it on our page?
Okay, sure.
There you go. And then that way it doesn't come in here, we can do it, then we can review it anytime.
'Cause
Or
some-
anybody can see it, right?
Some people, don't even wanna use Access E11. They'd prefer to go to a counselor, and we're after getting complaints.
Yeah, but how do you get it in the system? That's my question, right? So,
Well, yeah, that's the
yeah.
thing, right? Like, sometimes you're
just, yeah,
spur of the moment,
understand.
and you just wanna call
Yeah.
management or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is fair, but then on the follow-up perspective, I find sometimes follow-up is, if you're telling someone in passing, then nothing gets followed up, but at least this way, it shows you. Councilor Palmer?
Yeah, I just think, I understand E11. I think it's a good program if people use it. And like Councillor Compton Hobbs said, not everybody's going to use it. Not everybody wants to use it. And for me, as an elected official, as a councillor, we are the conduit between the community and the town. And if somebody calls me and says, I got a problem with this, or there's an issue, and I tell them to go, I'm calling you.
Yeah.
Well, that's my job then to come, I guess I can fill it with a complaint, but I can be anywhere.
Yeah. But
And I don't know
yeah.
if that's the right process. I think as a counselor, I should have that opportunity to come to a particular manager and say, this is a complaint that we're getting from so-and-so or about a particular issue, and that it'll be followed up on somehow. I don't think the onus should be put on us to get on the phone and put in an official complaint when we should have the direct line to the town manager's office anyway.
But the other side is, what about if a person in town can't call you?
If
You know what I
can't
mean, or
call
they
me,
see
well, then
something,
they
so-
can call the town office and
But,
someone can fill it
but
out
what I'm
for
saying, what I'm saying is, this is an opportunity for someone to use another
them. But not
service.
everybody's online there.
No, absolutely, but not everybody's connected to a counselor either.
Well, I was just
So
gonna
that's what I'm
say,
saying, it's just another opportunity. If somebody wants to pick up E11 and do it, that's totally when they want to, in the comfort of their own home. And some people don't want, to call out neighbors or call out someone else either, right? Councilor Compton Hobbs?
well, I was just gonna say, I've heard from a few seniors that, can't even access
Right.
online, so.
Absolutely, but then the phone is still open. We're not saying that people can't call in.
No, they
We're
can
just saying
call.
this is another opportunity.
There-
So, there's not much sense to tell people to use E11 if people don't know how to use it.
No, and some people are more comfortable to call Jackie Compton Hobbs or George
I-
Andrews rather than call some stranger. in town.
100%. But there is an element of town that would like that
It's a
service.
good way, we
And
could track it. We
it's
gotta track it,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah. But, like I say, the follow-up is there. So, anyway, if we're gonna tell people that we have a system, I think we should be telling people how to use the system.
Yeah, but we do have, like you mentioned about home-based businesses, so we do have a number of home-based businesses that are popping up, and, without naming them, we all know who they are, and, that should be dealt with.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have to be, people filing an E11 when it's right there in front of your face. That's my thoughts.
Oh, 100%. I don't disagree with you at all. The only thing is that the anonymous complaints we haven't dealt with in the past, the municipal enforcement officer from previous, always said that we wouldn't deal with anonymous kind of complaints, and the names don't get put across. So, yep,
So when it comes to anonymous complaints, that's in the policy that council has passed, that we do not take anonymous complaints. We also don't follow up on, I'll say, comments and stuff on social media. They need to access the town directly, and for those people who don't have online services, they can call the front desk between our normal business hours, and the person on the other end will put it in the system while they're speaking to them,
perfect.
because we need the information from them in order to follow up.
No, I agree. Okay, that discussion, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contramanded? Passed. Okay, next one. Do you have any, yeah, you do. Recommendations?
Open air fire law, the Texas Services Committee recommends council support and approve the town of Pascagoula Goose Bay open air fire bylaw 2025.
Okay, moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs and the Protective Services Committee that council support and approve the open air fire bylaw 2025. Seconded by Councillor Rumble. Does somebody is there any changes to an existing, or Councillor Compton Hobbs?
No, just the new towns and local service district act bylaw needs to be developed, so that there was no, city public safety, was being removed for,
Your mic's not on, Councillor.
No, there was no changes.
Okay. Councillor Rumble.
Yeah, previously, Mayor, we didn't have an open air fire bylaw, so we only had a policy, and so this will be our first
This
So
one and the next one.
We'll be putting it on.
time having one.
Yeah,
We didn't have one
policies would have to
previously.
become bylaws,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Did you have something else? or-
Just basically,
Yeah.
policies would
Okay.
have to become bylaws, we'd have to have a motion.
From the
of
New
council.
Service Act, right?
Okay, the next one.
Did we approve that one?
No.
Oh, sorry. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contramanded? Passed. Next one, sorry.
Okay, the next one is similar to the first one, vehicle for hire bylaw. The Protective Services Committee recommends council adopt a new vehicle for hire bylaw and send it for approval and gazetting with the province of Newfoundland.
Okay, moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs, moved by Councillor Compton Hobbs and the Protective Services Committee that council adopt the new vehicle for hire bylaw and send it for approval and gazetting with the province. Seconded by Councillor Brumfield. Discussion? So my question on this one is that we've accepted what's come from legal
Yes.
now. So this is going to be, when this gets gazetted and approved, those that are interested in vehicle for hire, whether it be ride share, that type of arrangement, right?
Yes.
Will allow that permitting process to proceed, or that type of activity to proceed.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm getting yes and no. Hang on now. She's saying no, you're saying yes.
I'm reading taxis, limos, and private buses.
Okay, so just one second.
Maybe that's not-
CAO.
Okay,
Then I'll-
maybe
I'll
I'm
come-
reading it wrong.
Oh, there you go.
The new legislation, the Towns and Local Service Districts Act, does not allow municipalities to put in any bylaws as it relates to ride shares. So this one will speak to the taxis, the limos, the buses, that kind of thing, but does not allow for individual ride shares.
Right.
And that's under provincial legislation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. In this case, it's much like the previous one, where we have to have a bylaw in place for taxis and limos and whatnot. But in terms of the ride sharing, I think that needs to be just clear, because there are people out there that are wanting to establish ride sharing services, but this does not apply to them, correct? That would have to be a separate bylaw, right?
We can't do that in a
Can't do it.
municipality.
There would have to be, there is provincial legislation coming
Not
to that effect, right?
There's nothing in place right now.
For Uber,
Under the Towns Act, we are not, municipalities are not permitted to put in regulations or bylaws with respect to ride shares
Yes.
so.
at this time.
So how, okay, so if we're not permitted, then there's nothing to stop anybody from doing it, correct? So anybody can just start up their own?
It's not permitted in the
Challenge.
municipalities, in the towns,
I think that, I challenge that one. I think there's other communities in the province that are doing it.
cities, St. John's.
Which aren't under the towns and local
We
service
can't.
district.
I double checked
The one
elsewhere.
good thing about this though is that, you know, and I understand what, from a rock share not being able to come community to community to community, at least if there's an overriding provincial legislation that should. Anyway, Mike's not on. Right now, as it stands, each municipality can't come in now and do a different set of regulations, at least this way. It'll be an overarching provincial.
Yeah, but
Regulation.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
It will be,
but-
eventually, we will be to
well,
a point
eventually,
where we
yes.
can allow this, right?
Eventually, yes, it's 2025. We should have it now. It's
Should-
everywhere in the world.
Yeah, really.
Right? It should be here. And I mean, we have a taxi, shortage in town at times. We have an issue now coming up where, taxis shut down at certain times. So, there's certain transportation is not there. We've got a situation coming soon where Air Canada is gonna be leaving at 5 AM in the morning, so you gotta be at the airport by 3:30 or something. So there's a whole lot of opportunity that I think could be done, so.
So what's happening though, Mayor, you're having individuals that are going out and offering this service anyway,
Oh, yes.
without proper insurance, without, so there's a huge risk, and we can't enforce that either.
Well, the only
That's
thing
the
we
problem.
can, the only thing we can do is, act on complaints that we get. And, if we act on a complaint that way, but unfortunately, municipal enforcement officer doesn't have that moving violation. So, you can't stop a vehicle and happen to find out that it's operating illegally as a taxi. So, I'd encourage, the province to, and maybe we should start, putting that forward and seeing where an update in terms of where the legislation is, because, you know, I think it should come sooner than later.
Yeah, you're right, it is 2025.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can get a, you know, a ride share in tiny little places in other parts of the world, but I can't get an Uber here or have somebody deliver something or whatever.
We'll even pick you up on a 10-speed.
I just won't fit in that little red bucket in the back.
You won't fit in the basket,
No.
that's all.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed. And that's it from you, Councillor Cotton-Hobbs?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's move into approval of checks. And, sorry about that. And Councillor Brumfield.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. Approval of checks for the month of February up to February 24th, 2025. Be resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Happy Valley, Goose Bay approved checks for the month of February totaling $448,017.09.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP committee that we approve the approval of checks of $448,017.09 for the month of February. Seconded by Councillor Rumbold. Discussion?
I've got one question.
Ask away.
I just have a question. I haven't seen it before. If you could just tell me what Helios Center is?
Okay,
Item 28577.
The Helios, they're the people who do the analysis of the electrical grid on
Okay.
behalf of the town, on behalf of the 4 municipalities who cost share that cost.
So that's
Oh,
our
good.
part of the cost share?
That's
That's
our
our
part
cost
of the cost share.
Okay, thank you.
well, I can, I don't know, CAO or clarified, is that our share or do we pay the upfront and get reimbursed back from the other municipalities?
That would be our share.
Okay.
Okay,
Just one,
okay,
check,
go ahead.
28562, Brentag, Canada. I've never seen that check before.
Checks are there on the table, or have you got a secret file there you got with the checks?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah?
chemicals for our water.
Is that
Yeah,
what,
is
chemicals
it?
for water?
Yeah, water treatment plant.
In the report, the manager did say that we're all good, no, we're all good on
Oh, okay,
Chemicals.
perfect.
chemicals for the treatment plant. All right. That's a cheaper month, though. It's usually at the $1 million mark. All right, all those in favor, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? We are past the checks, approved the checks, that's done. Okay, Councilor's Forum. Let's go to, let me see, Councilor Brumfield.
Second one, I think. I'm gonna be real short, because I mean,
Sorry.
for the last, well, ever since July, I've been back and forth to the hospital with my mother every single day, and I'm still there every single day now. But I'd like to point out on my way there last weekend anyway. I noticed a good crowd over at Kinsman Park there with all the carnival events going on there. It was nice to see. I never got a chance to go over there, but it was nice to see that this time of year, the people are getting out and enjoying this kind of events, and hopefully we'll do things more like that. And hopefully weather, and especially with summer coming on as well. But other than that, I'd like to thank all the staff and wish everyone a happy, good Easter coming up and spring break and all that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll save you for after, because you were short last time in Ottawa. Councilor Pomeroy.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Just want to touch on the fact that our follow-up, I guess, to our meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago with GBAC and discussion on the proposed hydro projects on the Churchill River. And I guess it's a positive step forward that we're having these conversations with stakeholders in the community. We have yet to have a conversation with the Chamber. I understand there's been some discussions with GBAC and the Chamber. And I would hope, and we would get to a point when we have some document in hand, and then we can reach out to other stakeholders in the community, because this project is going to affect all of us, no matter what walk of society you're from. And we cannot see the mistakes of the past be repeated. And I mean, I would, and I've indicated this, and I have no problem saying I'd never support any project on that river that puts us in the situation that we were in with Muskrat Falls. We need to have some guarantees and some real action in terms of benefits for this community if those projects are to go ahead. Committee of the whole meeting so far, so good. Still not sold on it. I think that there's a lot of information that we're not discussing at the committee levels because we're trying to get through the committee of the whole. Fortunately, we haven't had a lot of complex issues to discuss yet, and our meetings haven't been overly long. I think we may get to a point where our meetings could become, fairly long. I would hope that at the end of March or after this quarter, we said that we would look at it and see how it works. I still believe that we can look at some kind of hybrid model, and I think being open and accountable to the community is important. I don't think we need to be rushing committees. I understand that having a committee of the whole, we're not here every week for committee meetings. And we're meeting once a month or twice a month, and maybe the odd meeting in between. And I'm not sure if we're doing our due diligence as elected officials. I know nobody wants to come to all kinds of committee meetings, but I'm just fearful that the public's really not engaged as to what's going on. And the minutes of council too, just even this councilor's forum is just noted. It's on the recording. Not everybody is listening in. And if somebody wanted a written record of a council meeting, whether it's committee of the whole, which have to be public now, they can't get it. It's not there. So that's missing, unless somebody's actually going to go in and actually transcribe what's being said at a committee of the whole or at a committee meeting. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Winters. Oh,
There we go. All right, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to the CSR's management and staff, and also the volunteers Jeff Anderson, Rebecca Pike, and Caroline Tyner on providing a successful 2025 Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay Winter Carnival this past weekend. As this was the first Winter Carnival this town provided in many years, we hope that everyone enjoyed the events that were planned, and hopefully it will get bigger and better from here on. As this is a volunteer event, this event is volunteer driven, we hope to get more people out, especially during the planning stages. The second thing is congratulations to the Valley Boys on defeating the Strebber Boys last night at the 2025 Max Winters Memorial Trappers Cup and bringing the cup back to the Valley. Thank you, Mayor.
thank you, sir. Councilor Compton House. Oh, there you go.
I'll just be short. Yeah, I just want to say hats off to Dominic and the CSR staff and all the volunteers that stepped up in the past, couple weeks planning this winter carnival. We tried to do a winter carnival in March 2020, and the world was shut down. So we had a lot of them activities that they did the weekend plan back then, so it was great to see. I couldn't participate. I was knocked down with the flu, so I was disappointed in that because I would have been there front and center for sure. And so hats off to all those people who volunteered, and especially Dominic and his staff who pulls this off and puts everything together. It's a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't realize. So hopefully, like Councilor Winter said, it'll be bigger and better next year. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilor Compton House. Councilor Rumble, you were in Ottawa last month and never got to.
I was. So normally I don't want to repeat anything unless it's worth repeating. So of course the carnival is worth repeating. So again, congratulations to Dom Demers, the CSR staff, the carnival volunteers, on a job well done. And that kind of takes me into outdoor skating at Husky Park. The loop is open. Carnival's over, but the loop is open. And so we hope to see people out using that. That ice is very safe, as opposed to some of the ice out on the water. So just a reminder to people, we've got climate change, we've got some scary weather. I saw a picture on social media the other day of somebody standing on top of their machine, which was submerged. So as always, we want to remind people to be careful when they are out on the ice. We've got some fabulous ground search and rescue volunteers, but we don't want to send them out to rescue anybody. And also that the weather has started to change. We got a little bit of snow, and anybody who says there's nothing to do, the Winter Carnival was this weekend, but in addition to that, we're seeing advertisements from Birchbrook, and their trails are ready to go now. They've partnered with the Emerald Golf Club with Laura's Loop. And then I saw that Goose Head had their inaugural season launch within the last couple of weekends. So they've got tubing and skating. So it's great to see all these options for winter activities. People got their kids getting stir crazy. Days are getting a little bit longer, so let's all take advantage of that. I want to throw a huge bouquet to the Helping Hands Committee. Many of us have seen that the Helping Hands Committee has now been disbanded. They have kind of run their course. The committee itself is not going to be in existence, but they are reminding residents that all they have to do is reach out to Jeff Anderson at the Long-Term Care Center if they'd like to volunteer or be involved in that aspect. So even though that committee is gone, there's always, I'm sure, still a need for volunteers. So we want to encourage people to get out and do that. Community safety, something we've been talking about forever since we came into council, and I think that I just wanted to mention, I saw an advertisement saying that body-worn cameras are being rolled out in this area. We're always seeing posts about, I saw one today about an armed robbery, and there's different incidents that are happening in our community, but one that I saw, if I can highlight somebody on our police force, it would be our police dog Fox, because we're seeing posts that Fox is doing his job and earning his keep and catching the bad guys, and so hats off to Fox. I had two other things, just a quick one. I saw, again, a public notice that screening for breast cancer women in our community, or well, in our province, has now, the age has been reduced to 40. So I think it's very important that we remind women that you can now self-refer through the Newfoundland Labrador Health Authority. And my final item, there's been some confusion, again, social media posts regarding our public meetings. So I think there was a misconception that was out there, because we did have a post letting the public know that our committee meetings, any meetings that we are holding that are not advertised as privileged meetings or that don't contain sensitive information, are now public meetings. That said, we do this public meeting, which is live streamed, and the community is able to view it. We don't live stream every meeting. We all know, as often as we have met at sometimes, that if we had to live stream every meeting, I think that the public would get very sick of us very quickly. But just to clear that up in the public eye, that it is a part of the new Towns and Local Service District Act, that if somebody wishes to join us, a meeting will be advertised on our social media stream. They have the right to come in and sit and listen, but there will be no delegations and no live stream of those meetings. And that leads me into that last part of that, is meeting upgrades. So I did join the last meeting through the telephone, and that was, I really appreciate that policy that gives our counselors the ability to be present when you're not available to actually be here in chambers. That said, we've struggled, as we said at the beginning of this meeting, with our technology. So I think that it would be very much in our best interest as a council to discuss ways that we can improve our technology. As Councillor Pomeroy pointed out, maybe it means having transcripts available or audio recordings available. But if we are wanting to reduce the incidence of confusion regarding minutes of meetings, you can always refer back to a recording and rewind and listen. And the ability to remote join, we've all done Teams meetings and Zoom meetings from home. We should all be experts at that by now. So I would hope to think that we can put some work in and do our part to make sure that our meetings are accessible to all. And all of that is the end of it for me.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. We had an exciting meeting, actually. It was on behalf of the CSR committee with the director of the CSR, Dom Demers, myself, and the Canada Games Torch Relay team. They came and presented what their plan will be for the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay hosting the Canada Games Relay, or the Torch, coming to town. So it will be at the Labrador Friendship Center and coming up through to Kinsman Park in July. It's an exciting opportunity for us to have everybody line the streets and see that. So there'll be more information coming forward about the Canada Games Torch Relay for this summer as it comes through the province, but stopping here in Happy Valley Goose Bay. I think the day before it is in Northwest River and Sheshatshiu. This weekend was fabulous. It was the Winter Carnival and a great weekend. We had great weather. It was a bit cold on Saturday, but the sun was out and the volunteers were out as well. Huge hats off to the Town CSR management and staff, as mentioned by councillors earlier, but also to 3 specific volunteers, as we have mentioned as well, and it really does warrant a repeating of it. Rebecca Pike and Jeff Anderson and Carolyn Tyner. They really did a bang-up job of preparing and planning many, many activities throughout the weekend and throughout the venues. There were also stakeholders who participated and contributed, and there was quite a few of those. There was the CNA, Birchbrook Nordic Ski Club, Bethel Pentecostal Tabernacle, the Goose Bay Curling Club, Kinsman and Kinettes, Amaret Golf Club, the Central Labrador YMCA, the Labrador Friendship Center, Special Olympics, Heart of Labrador 50 Plus Club, and also Atlantic Lottery Corporation. So there was a lot of people who were involved in the planning for the Winter Carnival, and as Councillor Compton-Hobbs had mentioned earlier, the last one really was 2019 before 2020 when it stopped the day before. So a great job done by everybody who was involved. March 4th, we have coming up the pancake breakfast. So if you can volunteer, definitely reach out to Sandra Spearing. She's collecting names for anybody volunteering. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. at CNA, on March 4th, is the pancake breakfast. We also, as council, we had a wonderful meeting with Ground Search and Rescue. They were, oh, excuse me. Hats off and thank you. I forgot one, and thank you for mentioning that. Ground Search and Rescue were also part of the Winter Carnival and volunteering again, so I'd hate to miss. And I know listing things out, you run the risk that you forgot, and I did, so thanks for catching me and allowing me to thank them as well. Council met on the base with the incoming base commander, which is an exciting, unique opportunity for the next base commander coming in June, July, when they take over. Looking forward to embracing and continuing the strong relationship that the town has with Five Wing Goose Bay. And I'd like to say congratulations, actually, to Rebecca Pike for her many years of hard work and dedication with the Girl Guides of Canada, and also to Jamie Jackman. Both these people here in our town received the King's Medal of Honor in Ottawa this weekend. So hats off to them. That's quite a unique recognition. And Mayor, you had mentioned as well, we received a thank you from Labrador City as a token of appreciation for our assistance with the forest fires last weekend at the arena. And we truly appreciate that. And like you had mentioned too, if it was us, they would have done the exact same. I think that is everything for me.
Okay, thank you. So just to continue on the gift or token of appreciation we have in Labrador City, can we get a letter penned from the town, just thanking them for that kind gesture, please? That goes to speak to something else, and kind of thought about it last month when we talked about the torch relay. The last torch relay we had here was during the Winter Olympics back a number of years ago, and they gave us a torch. We have a lot of memorabilia around. We have a gentleman who's, I'd classify him as a finished carpenter, on staff. Can we look at maybe taking down some of the photos, putting up some nice shelves, and even if we cycled out we've got the HMCS Goose Bay, you know, piece that we had. We have, I'm sure there's tons of stuff downstairs, whether it be pictures or actual memorabilia.
Good idea.
Can we, you know, we got that briefcase that was given to us, you know, that kind of stuff. Can we look at, over the next month or couple of months, looking at something along that lines where we can bring some of this memorabilia? Maybe someone has someone that they'd like to share, something that they'd like to share. But yeah, I just think that we got too much stuff around and we don't have a place for any of it. We've talked about Claude's room, we've talked about wherever, but we got 3 full walls here that with some nice viewing shelves. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy, but I think it would be nice to start bringing some of that stuff. Because I mean, we've talked about it now for almost 4 years. So I think it'd be nice to do it. And like I say, the torch kind of brought it through. I don't know if we'll end up with a souvenir torch out of this one or not, but we do have one in the basement, I think, with a lot of other stuff. And I know that there's a former councillor in town that I'm sure he'd be excited to hear that. But I think it would be very nice. I was approached by a company, I'll bring this up later, but it's in reference to a quarry. So I'd like to have a conversation with you sometime, maybe later this week, in terms of their bringing their concerns to you. Congratulations on the meeting we had with the new wing commander, who actually, I guess technically is kind of from here. He went to school here, and to the best of the current wing commander's knowledge, it's the first time that you know, we've seen anybody back here in senior leadership role, very senior leadership role. So he'll come in April with his family, and that'll be great for our community. But that being said, I'd also like to, for us to, you know, maybe if we could do something a little special next month's meeting and bring Lieutenant Colonel Sadjian, because he's been a good friend of our community, down to the public council meeting, and maybe present him with something certificate-wise or thank-you-wise or something from the town, because April he may be going, right? So I tried to just look at something we could do that. Committee of the whole, I got noted that we did agree that at the end of March we would take another look at it. So Councillor Pomeroy and other councillors, jot your notes, put our heads together. Our technology really needs an improvement, like Councillor Rumbold said. You know, several of our last meetings in terms of live streaming, you know, most of council except myself and a couple others can't see what's happening agenda-wise. And even in the inside room, we have issues with Teams meetings that we have with that. So maybe something, it's not going to be a cheap fix, but maybe from a budget perspective, we can look at improving that. Any update on the bus or what we're doing? Everybody keeps asking me. Okay, in process. Okay, all right, okay. So it's in process. In terms of meeting structure and that kinds of stuff now, there's a lot of apps and platforms that use AI to generate minutes, Teams, that kinds of deal. And it does a remarkable job, actually. So you can sit down and have your meeting. You don't have to take notes anymore. The meetings can be transformed into and transcripted into AI, into a written side of things. So that may cover off, you know, maybe a technology use for councillors' forum or for meetings just in general. And that might be something that we'd be able to look at, come along with the times a little bit. And I just want to make a note of the community partners for the carnival. There was a lot of them, and it doesn't seem like there was hesitation in stepping up, and Dominic did an incredible job. So that's big hats off. It seemed to be well enjoyed by, speak of the devil, he's walking in the door. We're just thanking you for your good work in the Winter Carnival.
Good timing.
That's why you ran down when you heard Councillor Winters. So just for those who can't see, Mr. Dominic Demers is walking in the room, and he's our director of CSR. So there's been several thank yous around the table. So. Outside of that, anybody have anything to bring? Do you have anything to bring before council before we close? Yes, CAO. You have a mic too. There you
Yes,
go.
I do have one thing, just to respond to one of the things you mentioned about meeting apps. Kathy and I have been looking at three different options we've had demos with. One of them really did not suit our needs at all. They didn't understand what minutes were when I asked them, can this take minutes? So we kind of knocked them off right away, but the other two were now looking at are very similar in nature, and we know of municipalities that use each of them, and now we're basically down to pricing and timing. So we're hoping to have a presentation at the March Committee of the Whole to council as to what we recommend.
Cool. See, progress. All right, anything else? Dominic, Randy, Kathy? And won't make mention though, but anyone who's taking a break, enjoy your break, it's well deserved. That's as far as I'll go. All right, nothing else heard. And nobody else has anything to bring forward. Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion to adjourn made by Councillor Cotton Hobbs and seconded by Councillor Rumbold. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, meeting is closed.
Now I'm waiting for Val to show us a thumbs up. Everybody's up.
You're right, I'm hungry too. Me too.
Are we out? Okay.
Oh.
There's not a meeting now, is there?
Yeah, he's gonna show us the demo of the Access E11.
But he's here, oh, sorry, that's my cord. Keeping you up.
Yeah, you can't show the public the back end
But he came
on
all
the
the way
screen.
here.
I don't even know if we're on.
WordPress
We're not
is
live
good.
anymore?
AI is good too. For copying, transcribing. But isn't there an archive of our videos? It sounds like it's deleted, right?